Let's see where it puts me. Alright. Let's do it again, shall we? I can trade by waiting on the attacks. Alright, let's see. That looks like a giant. Like a really big ignat. $4 clear. Oh. Oh. The Undying Watch. Man, he's been in here this entire time with a watch just to tell him what the time is. If I'm not maxed two-handed weapon skill already, I don't know. Let's take a look. Yeah, we are. It's a gnarly weapon. Coins. Ow. What's up here? There's two different directions. I had a feeling this one would go in here. Oh, penny bud. Garlic. Oh. Ah, so it opened this up. Ah! Ah! Watcher mantle. You're less visible when stationary. But I don't want to be writing equipment. A piece of paper. What's in here? That looks like a big one. I'm gonna go the other direction and check out what that was, because this looked like a... Looks like an important boss there. So we go up. Yoo-hoo! This is how we got up here. Ah. I feel like I could jump to it. Shall we? Ugh. Parade blade. It all just loops around. You ready? Oh wow. There's the crowd. Let's put on this weapon instead.
His burden, the man beneath the myth. I am the face that time forgot, the name that was never enough.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit. You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the Giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
Oh, stop with your excuses already. You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Now I remember it all. I left the best of my people here. I betrayed their loyalty. And for what? Everything is in ruin. Everything I struggled to build is corrupted. This land, it had a glorious past, but it has no future. There is no way to save it. And what if my decision cost them the ability to grow? What if instead of helping them become better, I forced them to stay set in their ways? I may have been right about the diagnosis, but now I see that I could have been wrong about the cure. The tribes helped us win the war. They were fearless and followed every order. They were the most loyal of all. But I left them broken. And after the war, their bloodlust was insatiable. I had to do something. This felt like the only choice.
That doesn't fall on the weight or the shoulders of one person. They are a people, a tribe. You know, what does that mean? You can't just expect one person to fix all your problems.
The giants sided with our enemy. We had to find a way to remove them from the equation. So, under cover of night, the tribes stole their children. I told the giants their offspring were our hostages, and that we would slaughter them if they refused to bend the knee. One of the most humiliating moments of that whole war, both for me and for the Del Rita.
So it's the whole idea of needing others in order to achieve great things. You have to be a people. You have to work together. You know, you can't just do something alone. That's the thing. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, it's not one person that saves the world. It's the world that saves one person over and over and over again. And that's the problem. When you let one person just fall away, you're letting everyone just fall away and get lost because you refuse to be a team, you refuse to be a family. When you don't support one person, you're not supporting yourself, you're not supporting the entire group. You're just saying that they don't matter. You're only as strong as your weakest link. That's why you have to put the most time and effort into that person. It's why the world is made for the weakest person. Because the strongest people don't need the help.
Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were. And I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance. I come from the Pendragon bloodline, a heritage drenched in as much blood as that of the Del Rita. A heritage that pillaged and fought in the homelands for longer than anyone can remember, and unable to build anything that withstood the test of time. I decided to leave it behind me when we won the war against the Four-Dwellers and built our kingdom on Avalon on stronger foundations. Now we've seen that my bloodline must have been cursed. There's nothing left. Nothing worth saving. Nothing worth rebuilding. I gave everything I had to this land. My blood, my soul, my name, and the land devoured it all. I betrayed the ones who believed in me. I cut down the men who fought for me. I turned away from my own blood to build something better. And all I built was another ruin. I thought I was forging a future. I was just extending the fall.
Go back to the beginning. What was the entire purpose of even coming to Avalon? It was to save your people from the Red Death. It was to ensure that your people had a future. What they do with it isn't your problem, is not your dilemma. The fact that you gave them a future that made you successful as a king. Everyone makes bad choices. You learn from your mistakes. You hope that generations to come will see the mistakes that you've made and can correct them. It's the whole idea of a cursed bloodline, right? A generational curse breaker needs to see those mistakes so that they know how to fix them. You can't just expect everything to go perfect. That isn't human.
Do what you want. There's nothing about this land that I recognize anymore. All I've ever done got turned into dust, corrupted against my intentions, destroyed. Why bother?
The weirdness that affects this place, Avalon, it's not corruption, it's the trial. It's what you have to overcome in order to fix things.
Once and future king, you return. Speak your will through the mortal you now inhabit. Is it time for us to awaken?
What shall they do? Shall they disappear? Leave this world to the inhabitants who are just gonna fight against Camelot? Should they fight against the brave warriors of the Dalrita? Or what about Camelot? If Arthur has no semblance or idea of what is happening, he doesn't recognize this place. Isn't that ideal? If it's been corrupted beyond all of his ability to recognize it, doesn't that mean they should change what it is or what it has become? I think maybe that's a good idea. I think the weirdness is the main problem. But I don't know how to... this doesn't really give me a solution in dealing with it. If you suppress the Dalrita's thirst for war, they're just gonna go back to how they were. That doesn't really fix the problem. And if you just decide to be passive, that's not gonna do anything either. You're just leaving them to their own devices. You're basically saying that you want them to be unsuccessful in changing anything, and that it's not your problem. I say they march. This world needs to change. And what we've done, allying the one eye with the Horns of the South, taking Connacht on a search for the Holy Grail against Camelot, leading the Dalrita tribes to actually come together and march on Camelot. I think that this suits that goal. And from what I've seen, Camelot it's the source of the corruption.
The Dalrita have long been our allies. Through their eyes, we have watched your kingdom fall into corruption. Camelot will fall. Your will shall be done.
This is the only solution they're really giving me. Looks like a little teleporter to get to the very front. That's nice of them. Lots of developers don't normally do that. King Arthur's crown. Look at that. We get the cool crown too. Increases strength, dexterity, perception, practicality, and spirituality by 5. Parade blade. Thunder's reproach. You can bank one of these. $4 shield. Washer's Mantle. Smoldering Wrath. Weapon Relic. Critical hits, light your weapon on fire for 5 seconds, increasing burn damage dealt by 15%, And burning enemies. Oh, that's a really nice relic. Really nice relic. Successful blocks and parries imbue your weapon with lightning for 5 seconds, increasing damage dealt by 20%. Sick. There's a cave over here that I need Arthur's crown in order to open. Pretty sure I also... Activating King Soul fully restores health, stamina, and mana. Oof. We really needed that one. When using King Soul, your physical damage and spell power increases by 50%. Beautiful. Might as well use it as the huge boof. The huge boof. This one's actually really good too. Do not use mana or stamina or ammunitions. Team Muggles. We have to show our helm. Mm-mm. There's King Arthur's crown. Doesn't it look sick? I think it looks sick. Wow. doesn't really work very well with my back piece. But it's a sick armor piece, look at that. Very cool. Those also look cool. I'll give him decent. It's alright. The skull on the back is different. Personally, I think that the crown looks sick. I'm gonna head over there. Now that we can, open sesame. Yoo-hoo!
It is you. I wasn't expecting such a grandiose visit, my king. And I see that you were brought here by some lass. That's kind of you, stranger. But you'll have to pardon the mess. These halls ain't fit to welcome a king, nor the one who bears him within. This tomb opens only for two kinds of brave souls. Knights who were never granted a seat at the round table, and the king himself. I've been sitting here long enough to know what kind of knight visits the tomb. And your visit is unlike any other. Ah, right. Sometimes I forget that not everything's as clear as it once was. Truth be told, I tend to lose sight of a few important things myself. But to the point, my name is Gavonin. I'm a craftsman, a blacksmith, and the keeper of this place. The pleasure is mine, kind lass. And your grace, of course. Anyone who finds their way here usually comes seeking eternal rest. And rest like that calls for a proper gravestone. I carve each one with my own chisel. They also bring battle-scarred equipment. My hammer mends what needs mending, so it will serve them well in the land of the dead. And the dead? Well, they need a keeper. Someone to watch over them when unrest stirs. Believe me, those who chase glory in life don't always lie in peace. Very kind of you, lass, but no. Or, well, maybe there is something. You see, I once made a habit of carving gravestones in advance, so that any knight arriving here could choose the one beneath which they'd rest for eternity. Unfortunately, I've misplaced me chisel. It slipped and fell all the way into the depths. Clang, clang, clang. If you could find it, I would be most grateful. If we do not speak of them, then we won't stir their slumber. The dead prefer silence. Best not to call their names. Hope you find something.
Bone mask fetish. Gem of speed. Burning stone. Here's your leech stone. Cold stone. Weapon now applies chill. Well, I'm not sure what to say there, my guy. Some gargoglins. I'm incredibly tempted to just punch him to death, honestly. I wish there was some kind of a... Ah! Oh. Oh my goodness. Butcher's tool. Nice. Loot. I was wondering if I'd run into one of these. I think we can actually take it. It's massively heavy, but still gonna take one. What is this?
You kept us waiting. Your tombs gathered quite a lot of cobwebs and spiders. Best tidy up a little before you settle in for eternity. Ah, of course. Of all the forgotten knights who never came, you stand closest to the king. When you finally join us, you'll tell us what it was like to hear his voice, to share so many battles by his side. I won't deny my envy, but in death, you'll be our equal. and then we'll speak as comrades. I've no need to assume. Everyone dies, sooner or later. But yes, you're right. I suppose I had already decided your mission, whatever it may be, was bound to fail. Perhaps I was mistaken. Forgive me. I've been resting in the tomb for the past 3 centuries, so not much, really. I've been resting in the tomb for the past 3 centuries, so not much, really. Unless, of course, you're pointing out that I'm not in my own grave. In which case, fair enough. But what can I say? I do enjoy the occasional posthumous strolls. I came to this tomb of my own accord, as did many of us. I knew our time was drawing to a close. The gates opened, and so I entered. I had a few words with Govanon and then headed to the crypt prepared for me. With my own gravestone on my back, I treated it as my penance. Fine, lad. If someone's to watch over my corpse, I'm glad it's him. I imagine long ago he had more to do. It's been a while since anyone new passed through. Sometimes, when men want something badly enough, they're capable of truly awful things. I killed 5 knights. Each one stood higher than me in the race for a seat at the round table. 4 I cut down during a tournament. The last I drowned in a river. He was drunk as a skunk, didn't even comprehend what was happening. Quite the burden to repent for, wouldn't you say? I see. You pity the wretch who never reached his dreams. How noble of you, truly. But I propose something fairer. Let's test it. Your cause, my worth. If I lose with dignity, I am all yours. If you still consider me a good candidate for service, but if you fall, then you'll lie in the tomb that's been waiting for you since before you drew your first breath. So, what do you say? Splendid.
All right, brother.
Let's begin. Here is my oath. I shall be ready to fight at your side whenever you should call upon me. Thank you.
Summon Sir Vast. Spirituality. 140 manas. Sheesh. Yeah, let's take a look. Harness of Inverse Right. When you hit an enemy with an melee attack, your next ranged attack has 66% increased damage. And vice versa. Okay! Pretty neat. Gambit scale. This is your dash vulnerability scav. You know, the undead, because they can't feed. Hey, look. This guy's got buffed up gear, dude. What the heck? Arthur memories. Ah! Titanium poison arrow. It just seems a little bit lost on that. Chest? Exploding Morgenstern. Two-handed. One-handed. You have 50% chance to create an explosion after killing an enemy, burning all other enemies within a 5-meter radius. Okay.
Glad to see. Ah, so vast. Some knights wear death like a cloak, and even the grave forgets to close behind them. As for the empty grave, every soul that walks this tomb finds their name carved somewhere. It doesn't mean the end is near, only that the place remembers who you are, even if you forget. When the body finally rests in the grave, the epitaph completes itself. You did? I was starting to fear that one day I'd have to descend to the lower levels myself. I try not to go that deep. Makes me drowsy. Sometimes I feel like lying down in one of the empty tombs myself. Ha! Thank you. It is a great honor to receive aid from the king and his companion. Here, take this. I hope you both will find it useful. Step carefully.
Ashen Veil. Hood. Look at that armor on that thing. Look at the armor on that thing. Sneaky damage by 100%. Stamina. Regeneration. Regeneration. This is attack speed when stamina is low.
Hope you find it.
Kinda wanted to sell the +5 dented. We'll keep that. I'm gonna bank this stone sword though. I want it for the transmog. It's time to leave. Look who it is!
It
Hi,
must be
honey.
hard to be denied what you believed was your destiny. To spend your life chasing the unattainable, only to die unfulfilled. It's no wonder they can't find peace. Ah, I've been dreading that question. I won't lie. You've already met them all, I'm afraid. I'm the last remaining member of the guild, and have been for the past 100 years. Well, until now. You can see why I was so excited for you to join. A long life is a gift the wordness grants to many, but to me, it's been even more generous than most. Maybe I'll live only as long as I'm needed, or maybe longer. Whatever the wordness wills, I'll accept it, like I always have. It's a bit more complicated than that. The wordness is our fears, our desires, and the mark we leave on this world. It can be whatever we wish it to be, and we can become whatever it chooses to make of us. We are part of the wordness, and it is part of us. It shapes us, yes, but we can shape it in return. Not as well as the Foredwellers once could, but perhaps all we need is time. I was brought into the guild by Eleanor Dunn, a royal geographer who found the one dearest to her soul among my tribe. She lived among us for many years, but when her beloved became one with the wordness, Eleanor was allowed to prepare her body for the last rites, yet never truly as one of us. My people accepted their bond, but never her, so she left, and I followed her, as a good daughter should, even if not by blood. I met a few more members as I traveled with her, but over time they grew fewer and fewer, until only I was left. But as long as one of us is still alive, so is the guild, and I won't let my second family be forgotten. There's a grave ready for all of us somewhere, though maybe not all of us get to see it before it's our time. Did it frighten you? Such a stark reminder of your mortality. Why? Not your kind of company? Don't worry. I doubt anything could make you. You'll rest where you choose, or where you fall. Some souls are meant to wander longer, to carry the stories forward, rather than be buried with them. Whatever you decide, I'm sure Avalon will remember. Another night still waits in the mist.
Why did I go this way? Let's see. What quests do we have? Charred Conclave? Did I not hit the travel? Oh. Shall we? Alright. I think it is actually a good idea if I go around this. I've got an idea. Sure, let's talk, bro.
Meeting him made me reflect on one thing. How many great knights were swallowed by their ambition to sit at the round table. Somewhere along the way, things must have gone terribly wrong. If men could kill one another for something that was meant to be an honor, I pity the lost knights of this world. I'm glad this one will have a chance to fight at his king's side and serve me, as he always wished to. Alright, so here's my idea, right? I don't really need
speed? Haste. I don't think. So if I can swap them with something else, it'd probably be more beneficial, right? So let's see. Increases damage by 23% if enemy is burning. Looks really sick, honestly. That'll burn enemies. But it's really kind of not what I wanted. I want to do this one. On both, actually. And I don't really need the extra those, so I wanted to put in the glacial husk. I guess I need another one, huh? And I got 2 healths. Okay.
Too quiet.
We'll see how that works. Because the target has to be frozen. I thought I bought a gem that freezes enemies, but I shouldn't need that if I can freeze them with this. instead. And then bleed. Bleed will work good too. I'm just not exactly sure if they have to be completely frozen for the damage bonus to be efficient. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Oh no. Do I need to unstuck? Okay. Hit me. I got 3 stacks actually. Let's go!
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally, yes. And I was getting quite bored with the wait. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. To greet you, I was once where you are now, a knight with questions, searching for answers. That search led me to this place. And here I found my answers. Now it's your turn. Well, first you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. They spoke out. They should have stayed silent, kept to their herbs and potions, but they didn't. They believed their ancient knowledge ugly and painful truths from times long past could save Avalon from the plague. And maybe they were right. But people don't want the truth when it's covered in blood. Cruel rituals, sacrifices, hard choices in search of real results. They called it wisdom, knowledge gleaned from the weirdness itself. But to the people, everything they did was unnatural, costly, and frightening. The Druids believed their results would justify the costs. They thought Avalon would see them as saviors. But the people didn't understand, and fear turned to fire. Well, death doesn't always mean an ending. It was a sacrifice so costly, so cruel, so pointless, that it tore a rift in the fabric of this world. An ultimate wound. And so you're the closest you'll ever come to seeing the true shape of this world. Well, the Red Church and their politicians made sure of that. The Druids became a convenient enemy, a way to shift the blame and tighten their grip on power. It's always so simple, so banal, isn't it? Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you step through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you.
Let's go meet the architect.
At last we meet. I've heard much about you. Your choices, your determination. Caradoc isn't easily impressed, but he was impressed with you. Few dare to seek the truth buried in Avalon's shadows. Fewer still make it this far. I was the first. Caradoc followed when my brethren burned and the tear opened. And now, here you are. A truly rare and joyful occasion. Oh, forgive my lack of manners. I am Orin, the last apprentice of Merlin, and the last archdruid of Avalon. I've carried the weight of this land's secrets longer than I care to admit. But names mean little. What matters is the task before us. What lingers here, it's older than Avalon. Older than anything we know. What you see is the beginning of weirdness itself. Its purest form, raw potential, unshaped by anything but its lack of boundaries and limits. Beautiful, isn't it? Oh, precisely the opposite of what Caradoc wants. I want you to help me resurrect King Arthur. Properly this time. Ridiculous, I know. But yes, that's what it boils down to. At some point, we stopped seeing eye to eye and chose different paths. Ultimately, though, both our paths led to you. Yes, please let me explain. By the end of his life, Arthur became obsessed with his legacy. He left mementos, artifacts that embodied the virtues he wanted Avalon to preserve. Excalibur, a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. The crown of Pendragon, a beacon of courage and resilience. The shield of Polymedes, wisdom and independence. But Merlin and the others didn't believe that would be enough. The memory of war and the fragility of peace was still too fresh. So they acted. When the king died, his soul wasn't allowed to move on. It was shattered, bound to those artifacts. A clever solution, but ultimately flawed. I tried. And I found his humanity. It's here, bound, kept safe. But the Four Dwellers aspects was left to drift, untethered between worlds. Finding it needed more than magic. It needed someone like you. The horrors you endured on that island gave you something no one else has. You can move through the weirdness, touch it, and return whole. That's why you found the King's soul, bound it to yourself, and came back. You flatter me. No, I couldn't have predicted all of that. I merely nudged the Red Church in the right direction and asked Caradoc to assist where I couldn't. I can see you're still doubting me. I want to bring back our king, whole and complete. I want him to lead again and safeguard Avalon's future. It won't. This time, Arthur will be whole. A king must be more than power. He must be human. That balance is what will save Avalon. Because I've seen what happens without him. Weirdness preys on the weak, and the people are too divided to stand against it alone. Arthur is their only hope. Ever they're left without him, without guidance, chaos takes hold. Division festers. You've seen it during your journeys. If things continue this way, Avalon will tear itself apart long before weirdness finishes the job. They will follow him. That's what people do. When weirdness comes to their doorstep, they'll beg for a savior. And Arthur will answer the call. Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
Look who it is.
I was there when it all began, when Arthur first set foot on Avalon. I was a knight in his army. We believed in him, in his dream, in his kingdom. And for a while, it was glorious. Every battle felt like a step closer to peace. Every sacrifice justified by the dream we shared. But then came the cost. The war crimes, the impossible decisions, the massacres, slaughters, and irrational cruelty. We turned from knights into butchers, all because his dream demanded it of us. At first I told myself it was necessary, that it was the price of building something great. But the longer it went on, the harder it was to believe. That's when I realized Arthur wasn't a god, a savior, or a king. He was just another man, no different from the rest of us. And no man should have the power to demand such sacrifices. But do you understand why I want it so much? I'd like to believe that after 600 years I've moved past pettiness. You need to understand that people thought, and still think, that he was more than human. But he wasn't. He made mistakes, just like any man. And the cost of those mistakes was always paid for by others. I've seen what happens when people cling to kings and myths. They wait, they follow. They waste their lives on promises that never meant anything. But that's not my problem. I'm not here to fix Avalon or to free anyone. What comes after doesn't matter. Let it all burn. Let it rot. Let it rebuild. I won't be here to see it. Let them stand, let them fall. It's not my concern. If the weirdness takes them, so be it. At least it won't be another king's failure. Another lie propping up a dying world. It'll just be what it is. Arthur's the only myth that still holds weight. And when he's gone, the rest will rot with him. A puppet king, another empty throne, none of it will last. Maybe they'll keep pretending for a while. Maybe they won't. And call it chaos, call it freedom, I don't care. Let them rise, let them fall. Let them tear each other apart. I just want to watch it all come down. To see the last lie collapse under its own weight. What comes after? That's for the ones still standing to figure out. Then let it. If this world can't stand without a dead king propping it up, maybe it deserves to fall. I've lived longer than any man should, seen more than anyone should ever bear. And I've waited centuries for this moment, this chance, to end it all, to end him. Orin's a druid. That's what they do. They believe. They believe in myths, in symbols, and some of them believe in saving Avalon. I don't believe it's my decision to make. Not Orin's, not Arthur's, not mine. I've watched this cycle turn too many times. I have no stake in what comes after. Only in making sure this nightmare finally ends. We were fools to tamper with forces we didn't understand. Resurrecting Arthur, infusing him with powers of the weirdness. We didn't just bend the natural laws, we shattered them. Such violations of nature's order cannot go unanswered. The bill comes due, sooner or later. Always. This cannot be allowed to continue. Listen, it's taken longer than I ever imagined, but now, here we are. You've done what no one else could, what even I couldn't do. You've brought Arthur's soul back together, almost complete, but not quite. And because of you, I can finally finish what I started centuries ago. So, thank you for bringing us to this moment. You're close now. Just one more step. The last fragment of Arthur's soul is waiting for you. Complete what you came here for. And then, we'll meet again. As allies, or as enemies. That's up to you. Go. Find the last piece, and let's end this. Whatever comes next, I'll be ready. I hope you will be too.
Honestly, I expected him to just attack me. Let's go! Quite serene here. Ah, I guess I can't go in the water. In the end, he's just not Peggle.
You've come. The one who carries what's left of me. Please, don't come any closer. Don't force me to think about coming back again. Just let me finally die. Because I've had enough. Enough of being torn apart and stitched back together. Enough of being used, shaped, and forced to be something I'm not. Do you know what it is like to be a king of nothing? To see the people you swore to protect suffer because of your choices? Or worse, in your name. I've seen towns burnt to the ground, families destroyed, all because someone thought it would serve the greater good. And they called it loyalty. They called it justice. I've been dragged through every dream, every lie they've built around me. And I'm tired. Tired of the weight, of the expectations, of all of it. And most of all, I'm tired of failing. I want release. I want to stop being a tool in their endless struggle. Kill me. Destroy the last piece of me and use the energy however you wish. Take it yourself and become the new king. Give it to someone else. I don't care. Just don't let me come back again. Orin wants a king, not me. He doesn't see the broken man behind the myth. He sees a symbol, a weapon to wield against the weirdness. But symbols aren't people. They're empty. And the more they're used, the more they hollow out the one who carries them. That's all I've ever been to Orin and the Druids. Do you know what it's like to be a weapon? To be forged, sharpened, and thrown at every problem?
Yes. Yes, I do. When it seems like every question every statement they have is just another problem you have to fix. And they look to you for a solution to everything. Like they don't know how to fix it if you don't tell them. Sometimes it feels like they already know the best answer. Or they already know the answer that they want. Isn't that the whole reason why the Charred Council or the Wickerman happened? Because they didn't like the answer. Now I understand. More than you would know. But it's at your lowest points when you see their true humanity. When they finally see you as just being someone like them, someone they can aspire to be better than, someone they can aspire to help, take care of. Sometimes being the hero doesn't mean saving everyone. It means being saved. Because isn't that what being a hero is all about? Saving yourself by saving others. How can you truly save them if you don't let them save you?
He thinks ending me will free Avalon. But what then? Without an idea, a light to guide them, they'll stumble, lose their way, and turn on each other. People always seek something to follow, something to believe in. Take that away, and they'll tear each other apart trying to find it. Or worse, build something even crueler in its place. Let me die. Not as Arthur, not as the king, just as a simple, normal human being. I don't care. Do you know how freeing that is, to finally not care what happens next? Whether Orin gets his king or Caradoc gets his ruin? To not feel the burden of all my failures? To not see my memory tarnished, my plans, goals, and ambitions dragged through the mud? To not see the suffering my name causes? No more deaths in my shadow. No more kingdoms built on my bones.
If not you, then who? But it is nice to let go. To just let it happen.
Isn't that what you've been doing all along? Carrying what's left of him? You've already taken up the humanity I was meant to represent. Doesn't that prove Arthur doesn't need me anymore? Another way? There's always another way, isn't there? Another cycle, another resurrection, another lie to keep the world spinning. But please, not for me. Not anymore. I've had enough. I don't want another chance. I want this to be over. Do what you think is right. That's all I can tell you, because whatever you decide, it will finally be your choice, not mine, not theirs. And that's the only thing I've ever wanted. You hold the choice. I don't care who you side with, Orin, Caradoc, or no one at all. You have all of my soul. Use it. Take it for yourself. give it to someone else. I don't even want to know. Do what you will with it. Just let me go. Let me finally rest. Let me die. Please.
Did you already catch all the fish in here, dude? I hope you have a good rest of your life, Hop. Call me Calvin.
Help me bring the king back, whole and complete. That's all I ask of you. Now you need to go further. I made my case. Please keep in mind what I told you. This is the only way for Avalon to survive.
Go on. He's waiting for you.
Always a pleasure to see you. Let me go. Let me finally rest.
Hey, look what it is. It's the Tainted Grail.
You carried a dying king across the bones of a dying world. Now you stand before what started it all. An idea. I am the reason there must be an ending. I do not guide. I do not judge. I exist so that something can be chosen. I do not offer meaning. I require that one be made. You have brought all things to their conclusion. Now, decide what must remain. Choose, and let the shape of the world follow. You will shape the world to become its witness. You will be seen. You will be followed. You will be blamed. You will break the frame, and what follows will not remember you. You will vanish into the story you chose to restore. Who do you have in mind?
These choices are very strange. You have the king, well, I guess he's not really a king. The leader of the Horns of the South, the leader of the rogue group. You have the old priestess lady, the elder blacksmith individual, the crazy druid, the priestess of the Thude, and basically the war king of the Riata. They're all quite different. What about Maggot? Honestly, I just want to see what happens.
He would break the seal and flee. His hope lies not in healing Avalon, but in leaving it behind.
What about
He would
Grifiner?
shift the center. Unity if the mountain holds.
Shift the center, so instead of putting the center in Camelot, he just moves the center to the mountain. Let's hear what.
He would dissolve the old and raise the tribes. A new law, written in old blood. He
About
would
Brandon.
trade crowns for contracts.
Yeah, that sounds
A
about
world
right.
ruled by law, not lineage. Prosperous, but unanchored. He would build a world with no kings. Work would shape worth, but power does not disappear. It adapts.
True.
She would lead through care and quiet faith. Reverence would rise, but so would the silence around it.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
He would rule through law, not command. He would listen, if he understands.
This is against Hob and his wishes. This just throws the world into chaos. It's simply a lot like the rest of these. And then this one, you're putting all the weight on your own shoulders and taking responsibility.
Then the idea shall be claimed, its shape worn, its burden made yours. But first, you have to bring silence to what refuses to be forgotten.
If this is what you want, then take it, my friend. But promise me you will learn from my mistakes.
I don't want to execute him. What do you mean?
No, I won't let this happen. Not again.
think any other human could wield this power? I endured 600 years of pain, of suffering, of loneliness. I made the sacrifices, me! And now you think you can take it from me? The hubris. No. I reject your claim. I will reforge Avalon. Perfect this time.
All right, brother, let's go.
You took Arthur's power for yourself. Whatever drove you, need, ambition, or will alone, the strength of a king was now yours to command. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe nobody ever is. But you decided to try. It's a heavy thing, trying to do right where others have failed. Still, you stepped forward, carrying the soul and every choice that brought you here. You ruled not as Arthur reborn, but as yourself, flawed, resolute, untested. Avalon changed beneath your hand, and history will decide what that truly meant. With One Eye and Captain Brandon working side by side, the South found a peace it hadn't known in years. The roads stayed open, the fields were guarded, and the people finally felt safe. No longer bound to Camelot or the Knights of the Round Table, it became a land ruled by its own people on its own terms. Because of you, the men here remained and the Kuanact endured, not just as a place, but as a legacy of quiet defiance and hope. Lord Yvain was remembered as a hero who gathered the wise and set out in search of the Grail, while Kuanact stood as a peaceful haven amid the weirdness. You awakened the giants, and with them at their side, the Dal Rita conquered Camelot. As the capital fell, the customs of the tribes spread across Avalon. Not everyone welcomed them, but the change had already taken root. Firgas was named the new Galahad the Loyal. With One Eye and Brendan backed by the Dal Rita, the Forlorn Swords, he saw that the South's alliance was strong enough to stand on its own. He urged Camelot to leave the South in peace and turned his attention to securing the rest of Avalon. The captain led the South to independence, breaking all ties with Camelot. Under his rule, the Horns of the South flourished. Merchants, pilgrims, and adventurers returned to the roads, and prosperity once again reached the far corners of the land. One Eye ruled the South, with the Horns of the South at his side. Over time, the Dal Rita of the Fallen Swords rallied to his banner, forging a unified force. With the South secured, he stood in a strong position to launch future conquests across Avalon. Nianta left Kuanact with Yvain, and her fate remained unknown. Yet among the people she once served, tales of her devotion and courage endured, and her name was remembered with respect. Magat left Kuanact alongside Yvain, surprising many who had long considered him harmless and weak. His fate remained unknown, But in time, the people spoke proudly of the last druid, claiming him as one of their own. Ulfr left Connacht alongside Yvain, despite concerns about his age. His fate remained unknown, but the people admired him for finding purpose at the end of his life, and spoke of him with lasting respect. With Helmi as the new matron, the Volker returned to their former glory with renewed ferocity, their berserkers filled with an aggression that stirred quiet fear among the other tribes. Among the united tribes of the Dal Rita, the Volker were treated with equal parts awe and mistrust, seeming to teeter closer and closer to madness. Ingrid turned away from the eternal sleep, choosing life over dreams. In time, she began to rebuild the Thoid among the living, planting the first seeds of a new future for her scattered people. Under Stronar's leadership, the Ulfra found new strength. He rebuilt the tribe and reunited them with the rest of the Dal Rita, restoring their place among the tribes of the Forlorn Swords. Following Glerna's path, the Sven clung to the old ways, their faith sustained by the Stagfather's living presence within the unrealm of the hunt. They turned inward, shunning outsiders, and deepened their devotion to the blood-stained rites of their ancestors. You accepted the mycelium's offer and let the spores consume Sagramor's body. Now the kingdom lies under fungal control, its people connected, obedient, and slowly fading into the roots that feed the spores. You chose to free the Fore-dwellers, but captivity had broken their minds. They turned on their savior and were slain. Without the song, the Stone Warden craft ended, and their legacy was lost with the death of the last of their order. After returning to Camelot, Killian lived quietly for a time. When he vanished, few asked questions. Unsettling rumors had always followed him, and most preferred not to remember. O Queen Cinnamon Sage never forgot the bond he shared with you. Proud of the path you chose, he built a small shop near your grave, and in quiet moments, still spoke to you as he once did. A friend loyal beyond the bounds of life.
There was recently another DLC that was released. So maybe we'll find out what's going on with that. Plus, we have loadouts, full-on sets, so I can check out some different gear sets. Like I'll make a sneak set, maybe? I don't know if you can swap sets in combat though. Save outfit. Okay. We never ended up getting a range set, though. Might have to look around for that.